Let's kick it. Atlanta Soccer tonight is live on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app. I'm Jason Longshore. This is our weekly soccer show where we talk soccer all over Atlanta, all over the state of Georgia, all over the Southeast, all over the United States, all over the hemisphere, all over the planet. That's what we do. It's Atlanta Soccer tonight. Now, I don't really want to talk a whole lot about what happened Saturday night in Chester, Pennsylvania against the Philadelphia Union. I'm not quite contractually obligated to talk about it tonight. I feel like we have to talk about it at least some. I tried to come up with a little bit different perspective to talk about what happened without getting into everything that happened. Try to give a different perspective. So you're going to get that in the second segment of the show. Atlanta United legend Greg Garza is going to be with me talking. We chatted earlier today about a term that I had never really heard about, and it actually makes a lot of sense. We've talked about pressure, we've talked about um, anxiety, and kind of what that's like for players on the field. He had a new term. You'll hear about it in the next segment. I thought it was a really interesting conversation and a really good one with one of the best guys in soccer in this country. Does so much to grow the game, Greg Garza. We do have to talk about what happened. We will talk about Georgia high school playoffs as well. Those are underway. I was at Lassiter's girls match tonight. They defeated Johns Creek pretty big. It was two top 10 teams in 6A girls, and Lassiter won huge. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about other scores from around the state. We'll get caught up on all the news and notes in the 343, but we're going to start with Atlanta and Philadelphia. And we're going to go backwards to go forwards a little bit. Let's go back to Chester, Pennsylvania. The conversation after the match, the media on hand from Atlanta was Doug Robertson of the Atlanta Journal Constitution and myself. We were the ones in a actually very loud, like auxiliary locker room for Atlanta United in Subaru Park in Chester. It wasn't the best of situations. There were times where I'm like across the table from Ronny Deila, and it wasn't exactly easy to hear him. You can hear him well because he has a microphone in this clip. This is, Ronnie on what he wants to see going forward. And I ask him to start the question. I ask him about the reaction from the homegrowns after the second goal. I went back and watched it again. It was a 3-0 loss if you've been living under a rock. Philadelphia beat Atlanta. And the second goal, the two homegrowns on the field at the time, Noah Cobb and Jay Fortune, their reaction jumped out to me watching it live. I went back to watch it again to see if I was missing something or I was overthinking something. And no, it actually jumped off the page even more watching the video back from the tactical cam. I asked Ronnie Deila about it after the game. Here's what he had to say about the homegrown's reaction and what he wants to see from this group going forward.
Yes, I think we have to be, in a way also happy that we are in this situation because we can really change it. It could be much worse. We could sit injured on the sideline, or you could be out of work or whatever. We're here now, and tough times comes in life, and this is when you learn each other and you learn yourself, and then. When you come out of these periods, it's really build bonding and also building yourself as a human being. So I'm enjoying these phases. It's a lot of suffering, but at the same time, it's only one way forward. That's sticking together, and it's about see the positives in the situation, and then when you bounce back, it's going to be even better.
I want you to remember some of that when we hear from Greg Garza in the next segment. There's some definite carryovers from that to Greg's portion of the show tonight. No, he's not enjoying losing. Don't try to twist it. You're getting into a pretty philosophical comment there from Ronnie Deila about um yeah, it's MLS. You do have opportunities to bounce back. You do have opportunities to redeem yourselves getting into the playoffs. You do. You don't want to fall too far behind. You've got to figure that part out, and you've got to start picking up some results. And more than anything, I think you've got to see better reactions on the field to adversity. And that was something that was glaring to me. I mentioned it just a second ago. Jay Fortune and Noah Cobb were two that I felt like showed the right reactions, and it was extremely noticeable. Here is Jay Fortune from after the match talking about being a homegrown and what it means, and that reaction after conceding the second goal.
It's tough. Um, Losing isn't fun. I think it's been a rough, you know, 3 years for me in my professional career, and I'd like to see this team do really well. I want to win with this team because they give me, my opportunity to play this game professionally. And when you see nights like tonight where nothing seems to go your way, it's really frustrating. But at the end of the day, um, we have to do what we got to try and do to fight to the end of the game. And in that moment, I just felt like that was just my role at that certain time.
Going back and watching it again and seeing, I think Jay really pick up on the reaction from Noah Cobb in the back. And I thought both of them played well. Jay Fortune started on the left wing and created two chances in his time on the pitch. Covered quite a bit of ground in different roles as the game evolved. Noah Cobb started as well. I thought he was very good, made a big play to prevent another opportunity for Philadelphia, and that's where Noah was injured. He did not train today due to that injury. Sounds like more of an ankle contusion as opposed to anything else. Now, it did come out today that Stian Gregerson dealing with a quad injury, grade 2, potentially out for 3 weeks. Tristan Muyumba, grade 2 adductor strain, could be out for up to 3 weeks. That's not what you need. And it's another element to that match that we don't like talking about at this stage of injuries that were very handicapping in a way for Ronny Deila and what he could do to change things. You made three substitution windows. You used three substitution windows, all had to deal with an injury. Cobb was in the third one. Gregerson was earlier. Muyumba was next. And it limits you. It limits you in what you can do to change it. What you can do to change it is also down to attitude a little bit. And I asked Noah Cobb about the moment after the second goal and ask him just about what it means to be a homegrown player in this club. Here's Noah Cobb from after the match in Philly.
It's incredibly frustrating. I mean, I've been at this club since I was 13 years old. I'm a fan of this club. I love this club. Um, it breaks my heart. Like, I want to win games. I want to, you know, this is one of the biggest clubs in MLS, if not the biggest club in the league. I think, and it's such a big responsibility to have that. But I'm not scared of that. The guys in the locker room are scared of that. I think it's a long season, and we there's no time for pointing fingers. We just really have to get our arms around each other and say, you know what, we might just wow, we have a lot of talent. We might just have to just go in there and just start kicking people and fighting for points when and do the bare minimum there until stuff starts clicking. We might just have to say, you know what, screw these guys. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna stick it to them. We're gonna kick them. We're gonna fight them. We're gonna just do whatever we can to scrape and claw for points.
That's Noah Cobb from the match in Philadelphia afterwards. And I'll tell you what, I hope I get to see the day that Noah Cobb is wearing a captain's armband for Atlanta United, because that sounds like a captain speaking. And I thought his actions were those of a captain kind of figure. He's somebody that at times doesn't get enough credit for what he brings to this group, but Noah Cobb is one of the more vocal players in that locker room. Even at his age, it doesn't matter. He has a presence, and to see him go around to multiple players to try to pick them up, to try to get things focused, to try to change the vibe and change the game, that was really impressive to see from a player with his experience level going to players with much more experience and trying to help them change their mindset in a positive way. Really, really impressive from Noah Cobb. I mentioned earlier the training session today and what we found out about injuries. Mateusz Klich spoke to the media afterwards, and this is what he had to say about what kinds of things can help a team get out of this kind of situation. Here's Mateusz Klich.
In training helps obviously, but the most important thing is having a good win, and one win can change everything. And I've been in teams that we play bad and didn't create many chances, and we here played. We concede too many goals. We create chances, and we have a good spell. So it's not very. I mean, it's result wise, it's very bad, but playing wise, I think obviously could be better. But we create enough chances to win games, and we have to be more focused, obviously. And that's everyone. That's like not just me, not just 11 players who start the game, like everyone, because we need everyone, and that's it.
It's going to take everyone to help get this team out of the situation that they're in. Look, you start trying to do that in Orlando on Saturday night. It's going to be a game that's on FS1. It's going to be a game that's on Apple TV. It's going to be a game that's on 92.9 The Game as well. Abe Gordon and Madison Greaves will have your pregame coverage an hour before kickoff from Orlando. And I think just seeing the session today, it was a session that was really based around competitiveness, and it was a session that had a lot of competition with one thing that I always loved as a coach when I had teams was to create that competitive vibe that you want, having three teams, two of them on the field, one rotating in and out, and if you keep winning in whatever the competition is, you get to stay and you get to keep playing. If you don't, then you got to get off the field and you got to go sit down. That gets anybody going. And I think I saw that start to come out in some of the players today. It was a good session watching it. It seemed like everybody was up for it, even with the bad news on the injury front. Look, it creates opportunity, and you're going to have guys gunning to replace Muyumba in the midfield. You're going to have guys gunning to replace Gregerson at center back, and we will see what that lineup looks like in Orlando on Saturday. Coming up next on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app, it is an interview that I was able to do a little bit earlier today with Greg Garza, Atlanta United legend, U.S. men's national team legend. And we talked about what he's doing with Beyond Goals Mentoring, which is a great organization. Go check them out, beyondgoalsmentoring.com. But also what pressure and what anxiety and what stress is like for a professional player and how you can kind of manage it, and maybe giving you a little bit of insight on how it can affect a player. That's coming up next on Atlanta Soccer Tonight on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app.